After shocking news has just leaked from the Phillip Island paddock. Davide Tardozzi is reportedly furious after Pecco Bagnaia failed to finish the Australian GP again. The atmosphere in the red garage heated up suddenly, and the crew appeared tense. Several internal sources reported that Tardozzi's anger could be heard in the media paddock area. Bagnaia's latest failure is said to be the culmination of Ducati management's frustration amid immense pressure to maintain the team's dominance. Could this be a sign that Ducati management is cracking and approaching its limits? Let's discuss. The Australian MotoGP round turned into a nightmare for the Ducati Lenovo factory team. After weeks of drama and pressure, Ducati is on the verge of collapse. Without Marc Marquez, who is still recovering from a right shoulder blade injury sustained in a crash at Mandalika, the red team from Bologna seems to have lost its way. It's not just about results on the track. When Francesco Bagnaia failed to finish, the spotlight turned to a deeper crisis: Ducati's internal stability, which is now believed to be severely shaken. Several mechanics are reportedly frustrated with the Desmosedici GP25's focus on tailoring the bike to Marc Marquez's riding style. Consequently, when Marquez is absent, Bagnaia and his crew struggle to find a competitive setup. The bike feels like it's not mine anymore, a Ducati paddock source told Italian media. Without Marc's data, we feel like we're going nowhere. MotoGP observers and even Honda manager Alberto Puig have echoed this sentiment, with Puig believing that Ducati is repeating Honda's mistakes from years past. They're too dependent on one figure. When Marquez isn't there, Ducati loses control, just as we did in the past, Puig told Spanish media in an interview. The Desmosedici GP25's performance on the track also seemed odd. Pecco complained that the bike was difficult to control on Phillip Island's fast corners, a track where Ducati usually excels. We tried several new settings, but nothing worked. Without Marc, we lost a lot of important data, Pecco said after the race. The news from Ducati headquarters in Bologna was much more heated than usual. According to internal sources, Davide Tardozzi and Gigi Dall'Igna are starting to lose patience with Francesco Bagnaia. After a series of disappointing results, especially since the Mandalika Grand Prix, the relationship between the rider and the technical team has reportedly deteriorated, and there is said to be tension behind the scenes. Pecco is a great rider, no one doubts that, but MotoGP is about results, not potential. We have the best bike and resources on the grid. There's no excuse for continued failure, an internal Ducati source told La Gazzetta dello Sport. The situation has been further fueled by inevitable comparisons with Marc Marquez. Before his injury at Mandalika, Marquez had been impressive, fast in practice, consistent in sprints, and a constant threat to podium. His solid performance kept all eyes on him, while Pecco seemed lost in technical and mental confusion. During several practice sessions, Pecco's frustration was evident as he struggled to find confidence on the Desmosedici GP25. Tensions reached a peak after the race at Phillip Island. Tardozzi reportedly became furious in the garage and openly reprimanded several crew members and technicians. He felt that the team had failed to perform consistently in Marquez's absence, as if the entire system depended on a single rider. According to one insider, it was the biggest emotional outburst in the Ducati camp all season. According to the source, it was the most tense moment in the Ducati garage this season. Tardozzi had completely lost his temper. His voice could be heard all the way to the neighbouring paddock. Everyone knew this wasn't just a spontaneous outburst, but rather a stark warning that tensions within Ducati had reached a boiling point. While Ducati struggled with poor performance and internal tensions, Aprilia made a remarkable comeback. The big surprise came from Raul Fernandez, the young rider from the Aprilia Trackhouse satellite team. Fernandez performed with carefree determination at the Phillip Island circuit. Despite strong winds and unpredictable track temperatures, Fernandez completed the full 27-lap race with a well-thought-out strategy, consistent rhythm, and perfect tyre management. He ultimately finished with a lead of almost 2 seconds over his closest rival. "This is my first win in MotoGP, and I thank the team for never giving up on me." "We went through a difficult period, but this is the result of patience and hard work," Fernandez said with a broad smile, his eyes sparkling as he gazed at the Spanish flag flying above the podium. Aprilia team manager Massimo Rivola couldn't hide his pride. He emphasized that this victory was not mere luck or coincidence, but rather the result of the development department's long evolution, from the factory in Noala to the pit lane at Phillip Island. "This is clear evidence that Aprilia is no longer a dark horse," Rivola asserted. "We're here to compete at the top with Ducati, KTM, and any other team that wants to win," Rivola asserted. The 2025 Aprilia RSGP is now a major topic of conversation in the paddock. With its sharp acceleration, high stability in fast corners, and exceptional grip efficiency, many analysts are calling this bike the most mature Aprilia project in modern MotoGP history. Several Ducati technicians have even admitted anonymously that Aprilia now has advantages in tyre management and agility in fast corners. Some Italian media outlets are beginning to question Ducati's excessive focus on Marc Marquez. In recent weeks, the Bologna team has come under intense scrutiny for its strategic and technical focus, while Pecco Bagnaia appears increasingly lost. Many are wondering if Ducati is repeating the mistakes that plagued Honda. If Marquez doesn't recover quickly, and if Bagnaia doesn't regain his confidence and find the right setup, Ducati could fall into the same trap, becoming overly reliant on one rider to the point where the team structure collapses in the star's absence. A senior MotoGP analyst wrote a stern warning. "Ducati has 2 world champion riders, but only one is a true pillar. That's dangerous." This comment is now being reflected upon in the Borgo Panigale paddock, as Ducati faces a major dilemma amidst the pressure of results and title ambitions. Build team balance, or risk everything on a rider they can't always rely on. Ducati is on the brink of collapse. The remaining 5 races are about more than just competing for points. They're also about salvaging the team's reputation and internal trust. While Aprilia continues to climb and pose a real threat at every circuit, Ducati is stuck in a quandary over its development direction. Marc Marquez is not expected to return until the Qatar Grand Prix, if not the final round in Valencia, meaning the entire burden will rest on Pecco Bagnaia's shoulders in the coming weeks. However, Pecco's continued poor performance has made the situation even more precarious and raised significant concerns within the team. If these poor results persist, the 2026 MotoGP season could be the first without Bagnaia in the red Ducati garage, a scenario that once seemed inconceivable for the 2-time world champion. The competition is becoming fiercer, both on the speed and adrenaline-fueled tracks and in the boardrooms of Bologna's headquarters, where major decisions are carefully considered. A major storm is brewing behind the factory walls that have long been a symbol of Italian technological dominance and efficiency. Tensions are rising among top management. Will Ducati emerge from this crisis, or will they end up on the same path as Honda a few years ago? Let's know your thoughts in the comments.